What's up, everybody? Welcome to this video. If you're watching online, we're talking about there is and there are. And in this video, it comes from a Prezi presentation, which if I can find on my computer, that would be fantastic. I seem to have lost it. I lost my Prezi, you guys. So give me a second. Let me find a new Prezi for you. Let me find the same Prezi actually for you. And again, we're going to be talking about there is and there are, and how we actually use them. And we don't know where this presentation is or who made this presentation. So I can't really give them credit, but I will leave the link in the box below. So that's that. All right, we have some people coming in giving us some feedback, so that's good. All right, so there we are. This is the link. I'll post it underneath the video and you should have it there. Okay, there is and there are. Let's get into the actual thing. So we use there is if it's singular, there are if it's plural. So for example, there is a car in the picture. It's right there, right? There is a car. Because it's one car, there's just one. We use singular and we use is. There is a hospital in the picture, right? Look at this picture. Okay, there is a hospital in the picture. There is one helicopter pad. Do you see it? It's just one that is there. There are 4 buildings in the picture. We use are when it is plural. There are 4 buildings in this picture. There are 8 trees in the picture, right? How many clouds? Can anyone tell me how many clouds? 1. So there is 1 cloud in the picture, right? In this picture, the one that's up here. Right, so there's 1 cloud in the picture. If it's more than 1, then we say there are multiple clouds in the picture. There are 5 clouds in the picture, okay? So that is that. Okay, so the negative form of there is there is not or there isn't. Okay, so mainly it's really there isn't. There isn't a car in this picture. Do you see a car? No. So it's there isn't a car in the picture. Or we can say there is not a car in the picture, but mainly it's there is. The negative form of there are is there aren't. Okay, so there isn't a car in the picture. There isn't a person in the picture. There isn't a dog in the picture. There aren't buildings in the picture. There aren't cars in the picture, and there aren't people in the picture. So people, even though there's no S at the end, people is a lot more than one person, right? So it's plural. So when it's plural and negative, we use aren't. When it's plural and negative, when it's singular and negative, we use isn't. Okay? Questions, my friends? Nah, they're shaking their heads. Cool. Good, good, good. All right. Then there are some and any. Okay? So when we use some or any, we use are, okay? So if you see, there are some houses, there are some trees. We don't say there is some dogs, because usually when we talk about some, we're talking about more than one, okay? Now, please know that someone and some are 2 different words, okay? So if we're talking about one person, we say there is someone. In this case, we use is because someone, it's one person. However, when we're talking about some, we're generally talking about more than one thing. There are some houses, there are some trees, there are some dogs, there are some cars, right? So it's usually plural. So we use are. So there is a bridge in the city. Bridge is just one. If it's just one bridge in the city, we can say there's a bridge in the city. Or if it's multiple bridges, we can say there are some bridges in the city. Do you guys see the difference? People who are here? Yeah? Okay. Again, we can use isn't and aren't if there is not one or there are not any. Okay. So we can still use that. And by the way, some is generally positive. Any is negative, right? So any is a no. Some is yes. So there are some houses that they actually exist. If we are to put negative, the negative of some is any. There aren't any houses. There aren't any skyscrapers in the city. There aren't any restaurants in this part of the city. So when there is a not, it's any. When there is no not, so N-O-T, right? Then it is some, okay? So when it's positive, we use some. When it's negative, we use any. Questions, my friends?
And
yes, ma'am.
we can use like there's no.
In place of any.
Oh.
But it's singular, right?
We cannot use like there's no.
There isn't there is no.
The same.
Essentially, yeah. There is not. There's no one here. There's no
People.
no. There are no people,
Okay.
right? We just talked about people. People is plural, right?
Okay.
So there are no people in the city. Okay? So no is the not in this case.
Okay.
So we won't use any if we have no. And it's there is no or there are no. Yeah? But you can't have both of them. Cool?
Yes.
Does that actually answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I talk sometimes without actually answering the question. But we can do this. You guys can see the bridges and the cars. This is pretty. This is a pretty presentation, you guys. Okay. There is there and are there. So basically when we want to ask a question, we reverse the two. So usually we say there is a dog in the building. When we're asking a question, we reverse it to be is there, right? So we take the verb and we put it in front of there. Or we take the verb, we put it, so are would go in the front or is would go in the front. And usually the answer to is there and are there is a yes or no question. Okay, so the answer to is there or are there is a yes or no question. Is there a bridge? Yes, there is a bridge. Is there a car? No, there isn't. Or there are two cars. Yes, there are two cars, or there are two cars. Yeah?
Yeah.
Makes sense? All right. Is there and are there? Are there 4 buildings? Yes, there are 4 buildings. Are there any restaurants? No, there aren't any restaurants. Are there any trees? No, there are. Yes, there are some trees. Again, for the most part, it's a yes or no question. If we take out the yes or no, we can keep the answer. If we don't keep the rest of the sentence, we can just simply say yes or no. Okay? So with that added information is what I mean. So for example, are there 4 buildings are there 4 buildings? I can simply say yes. But to give more information, I would say yes, there are 4 buildings. Or if I want to, I can say, so if the question is, are there 4 buildings? The answer can be, there are 4 buildings. Okay? So I can take out the yes, or I can not take it out, or I can take out the rest of the sentence and just say the yes or the no. Questions so far? No? Okay. So again, this is basically just a chart of what we talked about. Singular affirmative means that there is, right? It's there. there is. Negative is there isn't. Question is there. Plural, there are two, there are some, okay? It's plural. There aren't two, there aren't any for negative. And are there two, are there any for the question? And I suggest you write this down, or as you guys are doing, you can take a picture of this, but this is a nice thing to have in your notes. So if you want in the video, do you guys want a few minutes to write it down? Or y'all are good?
Yeah.
Okay. In the video, feel free to pause it and write it. I can watch the video later, right? So people who are here are also on the video. If you're here and you're there, wow, that's so cool. All right, so let's keep going. Okay. All right, let's try these out. Is there a person in the train? What do we think? Look at the picture.
Yes, there is a person.
Yes, there is a person in the train. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's really hard with the lights on. Is there a man on the train?
Yes.
Yes, there is, right? If I were to say this in a negative way, what would it be?
No, there isn't.
No, there isn't, right? So then the question is, are there drinks in the cabinet? Yes, there are. And then the negative would be, no, there aren't. There are.
I see it.
Yeah. It's right there. Right here. This is where it is. These are the drinks.
Yeah.
Are there any lamps in the train?
Yes.
Yes, there is. Or that yes, there are. Are there any trees in the window?
Yes, there are.
And then the negative would be, no, there aren't. Are there any food in the train? No, it doesn't look like it, right? Yes. I don't know. Yeah, no, that does look like a food cart. But yeah, so you can say yes, you can say no. Yes, there is, or no, there isn't. Is it? All right, my good people. I want to say this is it for this one. One more. Hold on a second. There we are. We just see our friend. All right, my good people. So that's it for this video. If you're watching online, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you have questions, leave it in the comment box below, and I'll be with you in another video. And yeah, bye for now. I will see you guys in the next video.